You know, it would help if I put the music bot in here.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious. I was like, why don't I hear anything? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pirate 101 campaign, where we find out there needs to be something playing music to hear music. And with this revelation, who will give us the revelation of what happened last time?
That would be me. So last time in Pirate 101, we traveled to Marleybone, and upon reaching Marleybone, we asked Lieutenant Lana Marsh to take care of Meg. We'd worked with her previously, and she's also helping out with Max's parents, so it made sense to have her help out with Meg. With that, we also talked with her quite a bit about our plans for the Armada, and we kind of shared with her a bit of our plans. And she told us that Marleybone had managed to capture an Armada skiff, which is a pretty small boat. And they said that we could use that to try to get into Valencia. She also mentioned that Beachhead, the Armada fortress that we had previously raided, is still around. The Armada is largely pulled out of Marleybone, but they still have some control over Beachhead, and Marleybone's been stuck in a conflict to try to finish taking out the rest of Beachhead, but they've been having a tough time with that. So we decided that we would go to Beachhead so we could capture Dragoon to get his protocols, so that way we could sneak into Valencia without drawing attention to ourselves. So when we went to Beachhead, we were expecting to just pull a Dragoon, take him out, easy peasy. We did find a Dragoon, but it turned out to be a very special Dragoon. It was Rook himself, who is one of Kane's lackeys. He's one of the leading commanding generals for the Armada, and he was there personally leading the forces. So we had a scrap with him. He did quite a bit of damage, but we managed to take him down, and we were able to defeat him.
All right, yeah, go ahead and take the reroll for the session, and yeah, we are going to be picking up after the aftermath of this battle. So it's a little strange for you, Quin, because Rook's body on the ground is still covered in an illusion of your own. And you're standing over him looking as if Rook was the champion of this battle and not the other way around. Except for the two Maxes hanging out.
All right. Faris, you can probably drop it now.
Yeah, Abra could, whatever. Dispel illusion. Go down. I don't think I can.
Oh.
What?
Don't worry, it'll probably wear off in a few hours.
Daelen does a face palm.
I'm just going to look like Rook himself.
Don't worry. It's temporary. It's like when you go to a dentist and they numb your mouth with magic.
That analogy is not helpful for me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, alternatively, I could burn some of my reserves to just dispel it on everyone.
Well, we've got Max at least.
Oh yeah, Max wasn't caught up in it.
Yeah,
Where's
I can probably do something like that. I'll just go out and tell them that you all look like them and, not to shoot you guys.
This was gonna be our plan anyway, so... you know, it should be easy to explain. We were gonna pose as them using, you know, this is just a trial run.
Yeah, Catbeard will say, "Well, I'm a little woozy from that, but honestly, I think we did pretty well. I think we showed them what for, and I think we're a bit stronger for it, right? I feel stronger. Do you feel stronger? I feel like you can do more than me right now."
Well, yeah,
Just a little bit.
I'm on kind of a high. Well,
I'm just elated we got a chance to stick it to the Armada in a meaningful way, Quin says kind of smugly.
well, now we're going to sneak past them in a meaningful way.
Yes, but first, Quin's gonna go over to Rook's body. What's the best way to get his protocols?
You would probably have to like get through his mask and then kind of begin to open him up from the top side. But yeah, you're able to eventually like pop his chest open with a few of the access valves up in his mask for it, and then you're able to get his code cylinder, which is about 2-3 inches long, and it has a bunch of small rectangular protrusions coming out of it, and it has a little hole shaft that goes through the middle. A little bit like a spool, I guess.
Cool. I'm keeping his mask too.
All right. Yeah,
Can I just plug his cylinder into myself?
Yeah. You probably have like an old one in you. More or less, the cylinders are kept inside of the units, and then if they are captured, they try to self-destruct, so the cylinder can't fall into enemy hands, but they do hand them off to each other when they are running checkpoints, and they are used with decoders to more or less signify rank, status, and command.
Right. And is it encrypted in any way?
Yeah, you would need a decryptor to know what all the pins on this would really line up to meaning.
Okay. So, with that in mind, I have Linguist, which I believe I know I can create ciphers. I have to check if it lets me break them as well.
I'm like, I believe with Linguist, it's a history check to try to crack a cipher.
I can check. It is a straight intelligence check.
All right, it is straight intelligence.
Is it advantage though?
Yeah, I'll give you advantage for it just because one, you have Linguist, which is essentially like a tool in this scenario, and number two, you were part of the Armada before. But the DC is still going to be pretty high.
Okay. Do I get my proficiency bonus?
It's a straight intelligence.
Okay. Alright, I guess here we go. Oh, yeah, it's advantage.
Okay,
I'm
19.
also going to second win this because I want to be very certain.
No, you're not, because you didn't fail. So you can't
okay.
use it.
Alright, well, perfect then.
Yeah. So, what ended up happening? What you're able to figure out is this code cylinder of his. The decoder would be of a newer series than previous ones, which you probably suspected as much. But a lot of the base code phrases are the same. They've just switched around the baselines, and it more or less signifies that this is Rook, General of the Armada, and he is commissioned to Marleybone to continue a presence of sieging.
Okay.
And this command was given pretty much a while ago. Like the last time you guys were here was somewhere around the lines that it was assigned.
Okay. With that code, could I forge my own protocols potentially?
You would need smithing tools, and you would need forgery tools to do something like that. As well as you'd need access to a forge itself in order to make it.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, but we were told he had a sending stone on him.
Yes.
Well, let's take that off of him.
Yeah. So you have this small device, and unlike the conventional sending stone, this one looks much more like something Daelen would make, with a little like green antenna on top of it.
Well, I don't know how this works. It's, this is weird compared to the ones I know, so I'll just give it to you, Daelen, because you probably know how it works. The ones I know are just like rocks.
Yeah, that still confuses me a lot with the one Heidi gave us, but yeah. I'll put it in my bag.
All right. And yeah, so what do you do from here?
Are we taking him with us? His body, I guess.
Are you?
This is Faris asking the party.
I think we should.
Yeah. So, if they find him dead, then that'll raise some alarms.
Plus,
Oh,
I'm sure
boy.
there might be more secrets lingering in his husk.
Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't blow up on us.
And
It
just
is
to
a
save,
possibility, an unlikely one, but this is good to keep in mind.
and just to save us the trouble, I will cast seeming and just turn everyone back into a normal person. I'll make myself look a little bit more buff and good looking.
All right. Max looks more like Max, I assume now.
It's the Minecraft head effect where you put your own head on.
I'm thinking it's more like the Pikachu update to like Smash Brothers Brawl, where he just looks exactly the same, but everyone else is suddenly high res.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a more exaggerated version of everyone else too. Like they're kind of more, their like best features are turned up to 12. Like
What's
Devin's
average?
probably a little scales are a little shinier.
Glossy fur on Max.
Oh yes, quite impressive. Now the Marleybonians will think that you didn't have any troubles here at all.
Exactly.
I guess that's an option too. Well, shall we head back then?
Yeah, off we go.
All right. The Marleybonians have kind of an encampment. You kind of make back to where you talked to the officer you spoke with last time.
Oh, and we take the max illusion as well.
All right, so the 8 of you, if we include Rook's corpse. Well, actually, yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
I imagine that me and Quin are having to like carry it between us.
Yeah, so the Armada and the Marleybonians are going to be like fighting around hallways while you're behind the Marleybonians' lines. The Armada could see Rook's body being carried out by you guys.
Oh,
Doesn't it still look like Quin though? Unless.
It's true. It would still
It's
look
going to
Yeah,
be
I mean-
Quin being carried by Quin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Says also another thing. Is Quinn still enlarged currently, or
It would have passed because it's like.
so
1
it's
minute
Quinn
before.
carrying a giant Quinn?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. All right, you guys make it back to the main camp, and the lieutenant greets you again, and he says, "Looks like our push forward has been relatively successful. They seem to be breaking line."
Well, we accomplished what we came here to do, so.
Yeah, it looks
Indeed.
like your buddy wasn't so lucky though. Although I thought there was only one of you.
Oh, this is actually their commanding officer. We've just put an illusion over him.
Yeah, just touch his head and your hand will go through it.
Yeah, he'll probably do that and be like, "Well, that's trippy there, buddy." But so he really was here. That could have been bad for all of us if you hadn't done something. You probably had some plan to wipe us out and retake the station from here. Already taking the station has been much more arduous than we thought, but from here, I think, without his leadership, they should fall. We better get him out of here while we still can. They might try to destroy the station if they notice he's missing.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
You might want to get a move on that. It's possible they saw us hauling him out.
Yeah. Well, we have to keep pushing, at least until those main factory lines. If they start destroying the building, if we retreat too soon, they won't destroy the complex. It's a risky gambit, but it's one we have to take if we're going to be successful.
I agree. Well, Well, I guess we will head back then, and good luck to you on the push.
Unless you wanted us to assist in the push, that is.
Oh, I think that what you're doing is more paramount than what we're doing. We can handle things, but you need to make sure that the Armada doesn't know where their commander is. As long as we keep our push up here, they will make sure that that information stays here. That he's dead stays with this station and dies with it.
Alright, just make sure you don't die with it too.
Well, I've made it this far. Besides, for Queen and Country, I think it's an honorable death if I had one.
Daelen nods in agreement.
That is admirable. By the way, you wouldn't have by chance come across any other officers in your push, have you?
Any Armada officers? None of note. None that don't seem to be of the usual battalion commander. Those we've killed by the score at this point.
Understood. My main concern at this point is, while we have Rook's protocols, they are pretty high end. If we come in, I can potentially impersonate him. His codes are his, but that might draw a lot of attention if I have to play as Rook going forward.
Yes, that will be challenging. However, if Rook does not report to the Armada soon, I fear that they'll suspect something is up anyway, would they not?
Indeed, I think our gambit play needs to involve us reporting back to Bishop that we're returning somehow.
Agreed.
I do not envy your position, sirs, but it might be best to continue that conversation with Commander Lana under a more friendly roof.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for your service.
He gives you a salute, and then more or less goes back to commanding his troops.
Yeah, I guess we are get out of here now.
All right. Yeah. So with that, you are able to. I think you guys had 2 movement left for the day? Question mark.
I honestly forget.
I'm like, yeah. I think you guys had 2 movement left. So, with that, yeah, consume and roll.
And
Okay, so this is interesting. You're on the ship on the way back, and you hear a large explosion coming out from Beachhead. But it came from the bottom side, where presumably its windstones would be, and it begins to slowly start falling out of the sky.
Oh no. Well,
What do we do? Do we go back and try to help?
I doubt we can make it there before. We can try, though.
I wish we can. If you guys really think we can make it, we should. But we're also just on a very tight schedule.
How fast is it sinking?
It's not incredibly quickly. As in, there's a decent chance that that some of the Marleybonians will survive without assistance, but it's still going to be tough. It's more the exploding that would be a concern than it dipping below the cloud barrier before everyone can get out.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't.
And
Really do the
just to
explosions then.
yeah, and since Matt brought it up, the current date is the 25th of spring, so the first month is almost over.
Yeah, I guess I think we should report to Bishop that the Marleybonians have managed to accrue some support and that Beachhead is going down and that Rook is returning, but probably after we talk with Lana, so just so we don't leave too much of a time gap.
Alright, so we're gonna head back to Marleybone.
Yeah, and then report when we head out from Marleybone.
Everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
How often are Armada check-ins typically? Are they daily?
Depends on the deployment. Like Rook's check-ins would be very sparse.
Okay.
After all, this cylinder you have was when you were last here in Marleybone, and that was quite some time ago. Like the last time you were here was like 4 or 5 months ago.
And he hasn't checked in all that
Since
time.
then, yeah, like Quin gave a rundown of the cylinder. He knows when it was issued. If it was like a regular recruit, it would have probably been like handed out or like changed up already if they had one at all. But yeah, consume and roll for the next day.
Ooh!
Are we gonna re-roll that?
I want to, but I don't know what Zapper thinks.
I mean, that's as bad as it gets.
So,
Is that a yes?
if you guys want to use it, I'm down to use it.
I kind of want to use it.
Yeah, go for it.
44.
All right. You think that you might have saw the talkie flash a light, but then it appeared to have just been your imagination. and you make it back to the Digmore district. And you make your way back to Lana's office inside of the city, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess you're gonna be. Oof. Yeah. How do you get Rook's body across the street, or are you just gonna haul it around like a trophy for the Marley Bonies?
I feel like we just leave it in the boat.
I guess we're at a port town. We could leave the boat just kind of docked, couldn't we?
Yeah. I mean, you could. Well, you went out with your ship, I believe, not the Armadan skiff, because you wanted to get it retrofitted.
Yeah, we can maybe just bother the military and tell them to transport it from our ship. So they probably have better means of doing that.
Probably what they would prefer, in all honesty.
Yeah. So they've got some dudes coming on board. Are you gonna leave Catbeard to make sure they don't touch the chest or something?
Probably a good idea.
Probably.
Okay. Catbeard is telling them to stay away from the box with tentacles, but if you must get close, bring salt with you.
Before they ship it off, Quin's going to try to kind of secretly try to take his core out. Kind of pocket that.
Okay, you mean your code cylinder from when your call from it was to assassinate Lorenzo?
No, not that one. I'm talking like Rook's like core, like the Armada equivalent of a heart.
Ah, okay.
You could have done that like on any day we were like flying, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you just kind of have his core matrix.
Okay.
It's actually, give me a history, arcana, or religion check. And tell me which one you choose.
I will do history. Wow, 17.
Okay, his core matrix seems like there are two components of it that are of a material you recognize to be spirit crystal and saurian quartz.
Interesting.
These are the parts that kind of like went up to his head as well, I might add. The rest of it seems about normal standard.
Are these additions to an existing core, or what's the... About when was this core first manufactured?
You're pretty sure that it was manufactured a few years after you. They did say that you were apparently a prototype for Rook, and the handcrafting on the quartz and the crystal is very exquisite. It was not snapped in later. It was not meant to be removed or replaced.
Okay, so this would indicate that the Armada has had access to saurian quartz and spirit crystals for a while then.
Potentially. Like, you know that they had enough to make this, but that doesn't necessarily mean they had access to copious amounts of it either.
Okay. Cool. I was primarily checking to make sure this wasn't like a version 2 or version 3, and there wasn't like clones or copies going on.
Yeah, the quartz and crystal is pretty hard evidence against that.
Okay.
Like, pretty much you're pretty certain that there could not be a clone with the amount of stuff that it required to make this chassis.
Okay, that's good. I will share that with the rest of the group.
Seems very intricate in how they design you guys.
Yes, at least the high end ones. I am a little surprised at how the craft seems to be improving so much.
Well, do you create worker machines in that way? Like, I doubt a machine could produce such a finely cut, material. But I don't know enough, honestly.
That's honestly what I was a little interested in myself. Armada creations are top secret. Even I don't know the full extent of what goes into them. I know we have our factories, and the normal soldiers are quick and easy to produce, but this is something outside of that. I'm not sure if Kane made this personally or who might have done this, but this is definitely a custom design.
You understand it the most, so you should probably keep that anyway. And when we get there, hopefully we'll get some answers on that too.
Agreed. I would ask y'all to not be too vocal about this. I would rather keep this with us. I don't want Marleybone getting their hands on this. They mean well, but, well, Valencia started normal with their constructs, and I don't want Marleybone getting the idea that they could do this themselves.
Yeah. Fair enough. And we continue going to Lana, I think.
All right. So you kind of after this like biopsy discovery, perhaps just before docking, you make your way to Lana, and she says, "Well, one of the dockmen came here rather quickly. Seems like I think we won."
So,
Mostly, it seems
Yeah,
that the platform has unfortunately gone down as well. Or fortunately, depends how you look at it.
I'd say it's probably a little bit of both. On one hand, the Armada's no longer in our skyway, and on the other hand, I'm sure that there wasn't without casualty.
Yeah.
But seems like you've got some interesting cargo there with you. So Rook was leading their forces personally.
yeah.
found him rather fast.
Yes, I would say that his intent was to try to lure us in with his false sense of security, lead us to what we thought was one of the last factories, and then make a pincer attack against our military before coming back with force. Fortunately, seems like you getting there first seems to have thrown that plan out of the window. However, now you're in a dire situation, aren't you?
Very much so, because we're on a tight time limit, really.
From what you told me, the timeline was rather strict before, but what you choose to do with Rook and the information that he's given you, as well as the access codes, this will determine, I think, the rest of this war.
Hopefully we can get there in time.
Do you still intend to go forward with your intentions to go into Valencia?
Yes. Otherwise, this would have been a waste for us.
All right. My advice to you would be to try to keep things as quick as you can. Every second you present yourselves as Rook's staff, you will risk being discovered. And I will also point out, the moment you cross through that storm gate, she kind of points to the Valencian one on the map, that is the point of no return. We will not be able to get you out, and we will not be able to assist you. So if there's any communication you want to make with the wider world before leaving, this is the place and time to do it, I would say. You might be able to find your own way out of Valencia, however, there are no guarantees in war if you will get to choose whether or not you return and when.
I think we've already settled on that and made our peace to an extent.
Yeah. We'll be back. I still have things to do after this.
Same.
Yes. Is there anything that you would want us to do? Our forces are limited, but if you have some ideas, I might be willing to hear them out.
If you could, I would like to know, and I know this is a hard ask, the location of a mage named Malister in Dragonspire. I know you probably won't, and don't have the resources to go there, but if you can find any information about that, it would be much appreciated.
The other information we could accrue here is if you have any favorable not trades, but like conversations with Mushu. We're looking for one of the Windstone shards from there, but we're not sure if someone got to it first. Maybe see if they have any problems or outstanding issues that they would be willing to divulge about that, but I also doubt it's gonna be an easy thing to get out of them. I think they would keep that a secret.
Yeah, so that Mushu I think would be difficult. I can ask Mycroft which one, if only one of these could be done, which is the priority.
The first one.
Very well. I've heard that Mycroft has had some success with a new unit, so I believe that they can get the job done. Well, I suppose I don't have to be discreet. This unit exists thanks to you lot. This little group is led by Bonnie Ann. At least if we can get Mycroft to release her to this mission. And a few of the members of Kieran's crew that you've spared who were willing to train under her and his special forces.
With any luck, I can do something to delay his plans in Dragonspire, but I'm not going to count on it.
A chance is better than no chance, and we've kind of enabled them to at least have that chance.
Yes, it is possible that I think that they might have a wizard or some other spellcaster assigned to their regimen. If they're able to bring word back to us with magic first and locate him, what would you have them do?
Don't engage. We just need to know where he is.
Very well. I will send for Mycroft, and with any luck, this mission will be approved.
Thank you.
Now, I believe the Armada skiff has been outfitted with the storage room that you asked, the smuggling hold, so you can get more people on board the vessel and keep them in there discreetly.
That's
you.
correct. Thanks.
Now, this might not provide you much value, or it might provide you great value, but we will also grant you 3 clock swap cannonballs. We've managed to procure a deal with Skull Island, and while they are not in vast quantities, I think you will find them more useful in the coming days than we will.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I don't want to sound greedy or anything. Is there any sort of care package you could give us to go deep into there? Or
Unfortunately, that I think is the largest amount that we can do. However, if those cannonballs can be used in more than one way, if you have enough force to apply to them, such as, I believe, a catapult or something similar to it in forms of magic, you should be able to detonate it, and it might be able to bring clockworks that would notice you into your control and give you timeout. We might be able to procure a few more if you spend some funds, but these cannonballs are not cheap, and we do need a few to our own devices.
all right.
And of course, our shops and districts are always available to you.
Yeah, we may need a lot of food because quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. I think you might struggle to hold it all in that ship of yours, but How much do you suspect you will need? I'm estimating perhaps 100 or more.
Yeah. Well, can't we just put it on our ship and then?
Yeah, we can unbottle the
Yeah.
ship and but
That'll help you when you're in the spiral, and perhaps if you find a private sanctum in Valencia, but when you reach Valencia, you will not want to risk unbottling that ship. And also bear in mind that skiff of yours cannot be bottled.
yeah.
Not unless you want to unbind it from your own boat, which would require a significant amount of work. And then you'd have, well, your ship lying around.
I don't think that's what we want to do.
But the point is we need a lot of food.
We can leave most of the stuff we have on our ship and then only put food in
The skiff.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we can supply you with 150 rations. I believe that should cover your expenses, at least for Valencia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should definitely be enough.
He kind of opens a drawer, pulls out a page, writes some things down on it, puts a stamp on it, folds it up, and then tosses it into a letter chute. All right. Within, I would suspect, the next hour, your ship will be being loaded. Well, your ships will be loaded with the supplies that you have requested.
Thank you again. Well, Godspeed to you as well, and we'll see you when we get back.
I hope I will see you again, but if we do not, we are extremely grateful for the service that you have provided to Marleybone. You may have single-handedly changed the course of fate.
See, Max, you can do a lot of good.
Huh? What it?
Nothing to worry about.
All right, what do you want to do from here?
Well, I need to take a rest before I can get the disguise plan in motion, so I've just gotta...
Well, we have to do that when we get to
Yeah.
the storm, but not really now.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a long rest in the city if you want to just end the day here, too.
I don't know what time of day is it right now?
We'd have 3 movement left.
Okay, so it's probably pretty...
Yeah, it's probably getting near noon.
If we go now, we get exactly to the storm gate in 3 days.
But I need a rest in the city, so...
That's true. We
Yeah.
probably won't be getting a long rest after this.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, then we're doing that. Yeah, I think that's everything I'm thinking. Maybe there's a case where we can upgrade the slumbering dragon vessel with the pure yum yum fruit. Maybe I don't know if you've thought about that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Can we do that?
Yeah, let me go look at my
So it would go
rules.
from slumbering to the stirring one, I think. If we're just using the normal Fizzbuns item.
Let's see. What's the rarity that it would be?
Rare.
Stirring is...
Rare, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is rare.
Okay, so in order to upgrade it, you are going to need to use alchemist tools. It will take 7 AP, and then you'll make a check for it. It's not as long as if you were making something from scratch.
Okay. Do I have to be proficient in the alchemist tools?
You don't have to be, but it would do what tools do for a check if you're proficient in both it and that.
Yeah. Because I do not have alchemist tools, so I'm just checking something. Okay. Yeah, I think I'd use my I'd use the free AP we have plus the 1 extra we get, so 4 today. After using the artificer thing for creating a tool, the right tool for the job. I'll make alchemist tools and I'll start working on that, I think.
All right, so yeah, you got about halfway done.
Okay. And then we long rest.
Yep, and long rest is free of charge, so you can get all of the goodies back.
I guess we pay 1 gold for the inn.
Nope. I mean, as far as the inn's concerned, it looks like you just blew up a battle station and killed a commander, so they're more than happy to give it to you for free.
Yeah, we're probably not going to have any way to fit Alan on the skiff. So I was going to do an upcast, but I don't think there's much of a point.
Is there a different sheet for the skiff too, by the way?
We would need to clone it. Clone the sheet and then change its name.
Yeah, I
So
mean
share
we
two
can
two
we
twos
can make
cousin.
make just like a page separately for the rations we have on there, because we're not gonna put anything else on it, I don't think, unless like whatever you want from the ship, take it now, and then we don't. If it's on the ship, you can't access it or something like that.
We should probably
Just so we
transfer
didn't.
the cannonballs over.
Yeah, get our artillery over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll have one of you made a clone of the sheet. Or do you want me to?
We can just make a page on the same sheet and call it like Armada Skiff or something.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Just duplicate the Sea Shanty 2 page.
There, we we can call it a working title. And yeah.
All right. And with that, are you ready for the role of the escaping Marleybone?
Yeah.
All right, and you're gonna be flying in the Armada skiff, I assume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means we don't have the extra sails, so keep that in mind.
Also,
Yeah,
heads up,
so-
I'm going to swap out a couple spells too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I kind of have to keep seeming in mine, so yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so we only get 4 movement now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how much stuff are you transferring over? Because I imagine you'll struggle to hide the cards in the skiff.
We're gonna leave the cart. Let me take a look at what we have in there.
Yeah, because anything like big and bulky like that is probably not going to be able to fit in the smuggler's hold, or like a huge bunch of items that might be loosely like around your normal boat.
You said we're gonna need the Yum Yum fruit, right?
I'm using that to craft the.
Yeah. So
the
make sure you
thing.
get that off the boat.
Yeah.
Emergency rations, we need those.
Do we need any of the tools that are on there?
No, because usually mine count as stuff. I'll check if I need anything quickly, but yeah.
Are we okay to... Do we want to take the risk of leaving our winter clothes?
Is Valencia cold?
No, Valencia is not cold.
Then yeah, we probably don't need them. The navigator's tools are probably should take those.
Yeah, if you need those, yeah.
Or like all the tools, really?
We might want to bring the fishing gear, like, just in case. Though it would probably look weird on a ship that's supposed to be full of
Robots.
robots that don't eat.
We need a sail for it though, right?
If we want to get extra sails, yes, but I don't know if that takes time to do.
I mean, taking the spare sail.
Yeah, we have a spare sail.
Probably worth bringing.
And I assume we're taking all of the cannonballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones you don't have to worry about hiding them in your smuggle room, because it's kind of expected for these things to be on the boat. Except for
Alright,
maybe the
we-
clock swap ones.
Maybe we could put the fishing gear in the smuggle room.
Yeah. It's gonna be really tight in there, Catbeard.
You guys will have to use it as well. 'Cause the Armada doesn't sleep, so they don't have like bunks.
Uh-oh.
It can still fit all of you down there. I'm just pointing that out.
Or we can also like pull out sleeping gear at night and then store it in the day.
Yeah, just bivouac on deck during the night.
Max can sleep under a bed. He's liquid.
Probably sleep in a box too.
I think that's about it. What we're gonna take, besides what's on our persons.
I'm gonna pick up real quick a 100 gold piece pearl.
Oh, you mean in the town? Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. You can do that.
Okay, so skiffs are 100 HP, AC 17.
Alright, well, whenever you guys are ready, feel free to roll the D100.
All right. Why? 41.
Alright. Good start to the journey. Remember, you only can move 4 tiles now.
Feels so slow.
It does. Consume and roll, though.
91.
Probably want to consume from the storage on the ship first, maybe.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so,
needed to consume one to go down an encumbrance level.
So just -5 from that every time? Or -4?
-5 because no, I mean Catbeard. I don't know how.
Catbeard
gonna...
is assumed to be buying his own rations.
Okay, so
Okay, so -1.
yeah.
And
I
besides,
will-
do you really want to share rations with him anymore?
Yeah, we had 50, but no, we put 150 on it. Okay, so now it's 146. Cool, that's it.
Right, day number 2, consume and roll.
Is someone keeping track of the ship stuff if we're gonna eat out of that first?
Yeah, I'm keeping track of the stuff you have. There's a page on the boat sheet with Armada skiff storage.
Alright. I just don't want people double subtracting and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, on this trip, Quin is going to pull Faris aside and see if he can get tips on how to emulate Rook's voice.
Okay, it's okay if there's imperfections, just well, usually I use the excuse if they think something's up is I have a cold. Is there something equivalent to that in the Armada of just kind of feeling under the weather?
If you're one of the grunts, yes. But for commanding officers, having a voice box and poor repair is unacceptable and subject to, well, disciplined.
Well, maybe you were in a battle and it got damaged.
Potentially. Though it's still a little shaky.
Yeah, there's just imperfection. Well, not imperfections. Everyone speaks differently, and just kind of hone into those things that stick out the most.
Alright. I can do that. Actually, there's another idea we could do.
What's that?
DMs, could we take Rook's voice box and just directly plug it into Quin?
Oh my gosh.
Does this qualify as necromancy?
Quin, yes.
Absolutely.
I feel like that sort of thing's going to require several skill checks to pull off.
Yeah.
If we were to let you do that, and if things go wrong, Quin might suffer.
You might not be able to speak at all.
Until you can fix him.
I have no idea. Does this? That sounds like a great idea. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
And then maybe we ask Daelen, and then he tells us that.
It was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'd really love to, but how do I put this? I don't think that's gonna turn out well. I'm a shipbuilder, not a.
I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker.
Yet he's here working on this magic item as they speak.
Yeah.
You're gonna avoid
I don't know how to install Windows 11. Okay.
No, that's what happens when you fail. Is it installs Windows 11 on Quin?
Why is nothing working anymore?
My face.
What do you
is
mean my
turned into a
OBS
screen.
settings reset?
Just sit tight while we get everything ready for you.
So is that a no-go?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that without consequences.
What
I
will
didn't
you
say it was
learn?
impossible.
Your
just that it would be
actions
difficult.
have consequences.
If you're really, really ready for that, like, yeah, obviously the good outcome is very beneficial, but
I'll be honest, I'm usually not very good at the whole espionage thing. I'm just worried about my ability to be convincing. We can obviously use the illusions and some other tricks, but when it comes to the voice, that's a little more difficult.
Can't Faris just minor illusion his voice?
That
I
could work.
suppose you could, though wouldn't you have to be the one dictating the words, Faris?
Yeah, and I don't really know anything about the protocols.
Telepathic bond.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's an option.
That would work. Though I'd have to make sure I always have Faris nearby.
I guess you get to be the admirable for this trip.
Well, you're still the Admiral in spirit, Max.
Oh, I was talking to Faris.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so, but minor illusion requires somatic components, so I'd be like kind of waving my hand all the time. Because I gotta be within 30 feet of them.
So what situations are we going to be doing this in? Or is it going to be while we're on the ship? Like, face to face with...
well, the first one we need to do is use the sending stone to report back to Bishop so that it's not awkward that we're showing up with Rook's codes without like announcing it.
Okay, so problem with that right off the bat. If you use the sending spell, the receiver knows who you are if they know you, and if they don't know you, they don't know who is sending it.
I assume the actual like Armada one is kind of like part of Rook, so. But
DMs.
the
Yeah.
DMs decide.
I'm like,
It's an item, not a spell
Yeah.
in this case.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, where you hand someone off a phone, and if you're connecting two phones together, it's like, well, you know who's at that phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, if you want to know what it quote unquote specifically is, it's the Acquisitions Incorporated one.
But yeah, that's the first thing we need to, do.
Well, I think that's a solid plan. I still think it might be worth trying the voice box, though. If everything goes wrong, well, we still rely on Faris, but it just gives us more flexibility.
Yeah.
If you feel
I
up
guess.
to it, Daelen, that is. If you don't, then, well, we'll just work without it.
I think
I'm
what-
not super. Yeah.
I
go.
think what the equivalent of what you're asking him is to do like open heart surgery, and he's nervous about
Yeah,
that.
like-
Oh, we already did that a couple months ago.
Like, this would be okay. We're gonna put the voice box outside of your it's gonna be wired all weird across the ship, and it's gonna be like on the floor as we're trying to figure out how it works, like a computer without the casing.
I mean, this is more of equivalent to like a part swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, a part swap for a PC that is twice as big as your current one.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're, I'm willing to risk it, but if you I don't know, if you want to, yeah, we can try.
Then I say we give it a try.
Okay, give us the, I guess, checks and the consequences of our actions afterwards.
Who are you talking to?
The DMs, I don't know.
Okay. So this is probably going to be a few things. If anyone thinks they can ever have ideas, you might be able to suggest things, of course. But to start off, I mean, you've already learned how to open Quin up before, so I think that'll be fine here.
Yeah.
First of all, you're going to need to disconnect Quin's voice box. So what you'll be doing here is a Tinker's Tool check using your sleight of hand. Well, I guess this has changed now, isn't it? I guess it still works.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you'd still sleight of hand, and if I have Tinker's
Yeah.
Tools, I would get advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so sleight of hand, sure. I will get advantage on that. Let me go ahead and do that.
I will use guidance.
Okay.
You're dabbing him as he's.
Okay, here we go. That is a 24.
Okay, so you've managed to get his voice box disconnected now, and next up, what I'm going to need you to do is another sleight of hand check, though this will not be using your Tinker's Tools, just to extract the actual voice box without damaging it.
I got a question to pose here. I raised my hand. Could you just maybe instruct Max how to do this instead? To get this part anyway, to pull it out with precision. Operation the board game here.
Yeah, that. Max has smaller hands, so it's probably.
I've also got retractable claws.
You don't want to claw that, please.
All right, what roll do I need to make again?
Okay, this is
Uh,
just
sleight of
a
hand.
straight sleight of hand check.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh. I can guidance that for what it's worth. My guess is Max is probably got a bunch
Crazy.
of stuff to it already, though.
30.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Okay.
I
Yep.
rolled a 7 and I got a 30. So actually, that goes up
Actually.
by 33.
33. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
33.
goodness. Yep. Okay, Max. You might as well be a surgeon right now with how cleanly you've extracted this. Next up. So this is going to be a bit of a weird one because now what you need to do is you need to get the other voice box inserted in, and you need to find a place for it that you can then connect wiring in to Quin's voice box, as it won't fit naturally. So first, you're going to need to do a intelligence perception check to figure out a good spot for this thing.
Okay.
Do you want me to do that?
This might be.
Yes.
I have a +9.
Yes. I mean intelligence. I don't know what your intelligence is.
Yeah, that's a +9.
Okay.
He's still gonna get a +10 though because of the Stone of Good Luck. Guidance,
Isn't
please.
it? Yeah, let's assume I'm applying guidance to everyone.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Does reliable talent work on things you don't have proficiency in, by the way?
I do have proficiency in it.
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
curious. Just
It's
in
only
case.
on the
no.
things you're proficient in, yes.
Okay.
27.
Okay. Yep. You guys have been rolling really hot with these, so you're still doing fine. And now, lastly, you're going to need to do a... Let's see here. I wouldn't want to say sleight of hand again, because this is more like... It's not quite Arcana is the problem.
There needs to be like technology skill or something.
Yeah, it's like it needs to be like, almost like an int medicine check, but that doesn't make sense.
I mean, you could just do normal medicine. It's still biology, even if it's robot bio.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Though I actually will say int medicine here, I think.
Well, I can't help with that one.
Okay.
Though I will let you use Tinker's tools since, you know, this is still effectively robotics.
Give me a second to see how the advantage thing works. I think I have to be proficient in the skill. Artisan tools.
And it's if you don't have proficiency for the advantage, you just would get proficiency, or how does that work?
I add proficiency bonus to the ability check. That's all
Okay.
it is. Okay. So this will be plus. Second. Yeah, it'll be just +4 and then +4, which is +8. Yeah, I don't want to mess this up, so I'll actually use enhance ability on myself, I think, for the
wow.
Yeah. You're getting guidance too.
Ooh,
20.
okay.
Good roll.
Yep. One of those was beyond what we wanted. So with that, you managed to connect all the wiring back up now that you've got like some extension cords basically hooking into his voice box in order to fit this larger one. And Quin, you now have Rook's voice.
Does Quin look like he has like a goiter or something now?
What?
Does he have like a enlarged neck? Like he looks like he has
No,
a thyroid
no.
disease or something?
No, because you probably used like open space in his chest cavity, and you've
Yeah.
effectively wired things up towards his voice box that way.
Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
well, that went better than expected.
Every single one of those rolls was above a 20. Very well done.
So, how does that sound?
You sound just like him when he was like shooting threats out at us.
a little bit uncanny, to be honest. But
Oh,
probably
think
in the
there's-
best possible way in this case.
Well, that's good. I think there's one other thing to complete the look, and I'll take out Rourke's mask and slide it in, replacing Quin's mask.
If you were enlarged, that might work.
Yeah,
Problem
just
is
falls
that-
off.
All right, maybe we'll avoid that one for now.
We just gotta install some stilts.
Yes, the size will be another issue we'll have to work around.
Well, Daelen can probably help with that.
Yeah, if you need me to do that, I can. I
How
imagine
long
in the
does
lot.
that last?
It's only for a minute though.
Ooh. Maybe that's a bit of a problem then.
Yep, it is. I imagine like enlarges like Daelen pushes like some kind of hidden button like on the base of like of Quin's back where like you can't reach with your arm usually.
I'm putting the fake Max in the shelter too.
All right, T-posing Max is just chilling in the smuggler compound.
It's more like creepy. He's just kind of standing there smiling, like looking at a wall.
Does Catbeard look jealous at the illusions sometimes?
Or he's like just talking to it and doesn't realize it's an illusion. Okay, but for the size thing, I don't really, yeah, exactly like that. I don't really have anything that could help except seeming, which is just the initial disguise.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do very, very well on that front.
I guess question for Crow: does seeming have to stay with your size, your creature
says you-
size, or?
I can make you 1 foot taller. I don't know how tall Quin is and how tall Rook was.
I think, I think seeming would give you some level of mulliganing here.
Considering that, like, Quin is already pretty close to being a large creature.
Yeah, well, it's like, I feel like it would just grow, the illusion would just grow with you. It seems weird to me that, like, disguise self, for example, would, like, fall off if you enlarged yourself with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that the idea of seeming to me seems like it should just be sort of like almost like an overlay on top of you, so if you enlarged, it would move.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about just using seeming by itself.
Oh, just by
but
itself.
By making him 1 foot taller.
Okay.
I think that he would pass as a large creature, but he would probably still be shorter than Rook's usual height.
Yeah.
So it would be one of those things where people
glance.
that know at a glance, people would not suspect things. If anyone got close that knew Rook got in there, they might be suspicious.
Okay.
I'm gonna need high heels or something.
Homebrew build this sucker.
Can we like make some sort of like small? He only needs to be like a foot or two taller, right? Assuming seeming provides an extra foot to him, he'd need to be like a foot or two taller to pass off as the same height.
Yeah, but seeming's also accounting for like width here as well, I would imagine. So that looks natural.
Yeah.
So he isn't like skinny like a pencil.
So, I guess here's an idea. Because Rook almost had like an exoskeleton when we fought him that he like shed. Could we do something similar and use his parts to put on like an exoskeleton almost to Quin?
If you have a disguise kit proficiency, I would let you do it, but that would more or less be you making a costume.
Oh, well, guess who happens to have that?
Boom.
Okay. Let's see, what's the DC under that? It's somewhere in the rules. Oh, you have to do a... I think it's during a rest that you can make stuff like costumes, or is it...
Crafting. Artisan tools, I'll look up.
It's not artisan's tools, but I can craft a
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah. I guess before we find out the real answer, the quick answer is I'll have you make a performance check for it just to make it fit Quin properly.
So under crafter it says whenever you finish a long rest. So I assume it's using the same.
No, it uses different rules.
Okay.
Yeah, crafter's its own thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you can make a performance check and see if you can take like the pieces and make them fit around Quin with being able to be big enough to look imposing like Rook, but not like make it impossible for Quin to move.
So I need to make the check?
Yeah, because you're the one with the tool proficiency, though you'll
Okay.
have advantage because of that.
I don't believe I'll have advantage, I'll just have proficiency. I do not have proficiency with performance.
Okay, fair enough.
And the crafting rules, it's going to take me 1 day and 3 gold pieces.
Yeah. I guess in this situation, I will say that would cost 1 AP to do.
Okay, so the performance check... 17.
I'll make it at 21, just so we have a better disguise.
All right, yeah, you're pretty confident in what you've done here. Obviously, there's going to be like some straps and things to it, but the seaming can cover all that up. And yeah, Quin has when he tries to be pretend to be Rook, he will have advantage on his charisma checks, I believe, is how mechanically this will work.
Okay, does anyone have any perfume, too? Don't ask. It's just, we need some perfume.
Get some nice oil perfume.
I think that's everything then. We just move 3 spaces instead of 4. But we haven't rolled yet. I think it's back to Doc for the...
Oh, okay. Yes, that's correct. 88.
Let's see. 88. All right, so on your way, while you're traveling this way, you are someone give me a perception check.
Max.
If you're using spyglass, I'll give you advantage.
Okay.
You better take that into your inventory from the ship then. Or, I don't know if you're carrying it.
Almost a nat 20.
All right, you spot the Marleybonians near the wreckage of Beachhead, and it appears to be like the lieutenant that you were talking to earlier is alive.
Okay, good.
Good.
And that's what happens today, other than Quin getting an extravagant costume. And yeah, consume and roll for the next day.
That is me.
Okay, after we switched over to the new rule set, I do not actually have proficiency with the disguise kits. I have one on my person. I switched out my actual proficiency, though I do not have that.
Okay, so I guess I'll give you an offer here. We can keep the outcome we had if you consume the disguise kit you have on hand, or we'll have to, or Quin will have instead a proficiency in charisma checks that he does not already have proficiency in instead.
Yeah, I guess we'll go with the latter. Just give him proficiency in those charisma checks.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Everybody agreed?
Yeah.
That sounds fine
Yeah.
to me.
all right, yeah, mark that down on the thing there.
At the end of the day, actually, I do the 7 AP. So, what do I do for the Dragon Vessel?
All right, so this is going to be a medicine check.
Okay, let me see.
And with our usual set of rules, every 50 GP you chuck at this is going to effectively give you a +1 to this. So if you want to just money your way to victory, you can do that.
Pay to win.
I'll chuck in, like, I think it's worth it to chuck in like 400 gold here.
I'll add 100.
Okay. So I get +10, I guess, there.
The price of reliable talent, 500 gold.
Yes. Okay, I get a 15. I can make it a 19, but I don't think that changes. Yeah, 15.
All right. Let's see, it's the Stirring Dragon Vessel, correct?
Yep.
Okay, you are able to create it, but it cannot produce a potion of climbing or potion of fire breath.
Okay.
We'd like have to do that again to kind of fix it.
Yeah, or you can go all in and just try to upgrade it from there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either of those potions is particularly good. We're basically going to be using it for the greater healing potion all the time anyway, so...
Most of the time, but yeah, it could be useful to like maybe sometimes have like cold breath or something, but yeah. Or is it always fire? I don't remember.
It's always fire, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can move on. I'll roll my D100 now. 28.
28. All right. Yeah, you approach this storm gate, and there is an Armada ship patrolling around this area.
Okay. So before we're like, when we're like an hour away, I want to get the telepathic bond up so we can talk during this situation. And then I'll put the seeming up. So those last an hour and 8 hours respectively, so.
All right, yeah.
When you put up the seeming, Quin will request that you, Faris, give yourself a bit of a gold trim on your mask to designate you as a higher officer.
Okay. But you're gonna be doing the talking because you have the voice now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, it's just like it'll grant you a little more freedom if you need it, and you'll be like a secondary almost.
All right. So yeah, I'll do that to those specifics, and everyone is now an Armada soldier, and Quin is now Rook.
Max is a munchkin.
You probably need seemings to look tall.
He's the subcompact model.
Wait, aren't there like clockworks you could have on ship that we could have bought on ship? Or are those medium creatures, or are they large?
Those would have been medium.
Okay, then I make Max one of those.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, most Armada units are medium.
Okay, but Max is a little shorter, and even if I make him a foot taller, he.
Yeah, well, Max is still considered a medium creature. It's just for flavor, he'd be more in line if you did the taller thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when you want to do the bishop thing, by the way, Quin.
I suppose we can do it whenever the rest of you are ready.
Catbeard, go under there and don't make any noise.
All right, he tries to salute at you robotically, but there's fish in his hand, so. But yeah, he goes under.
Okay.
All right, and the Armada troops dock with the are coming around, I guess, to dock with you, do you let them do so?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And they are going to approach you, and then one of them is going to say, "Commander Rook, this is not the position that you were designated to being stationed at."
This is true, but I've also been granted certain permissions from Kane to adjust the mission parameters as necessary for the good of the Armada. As such, if you haven't noticed already, I've ordered the full pullout of Beachhead.
These orders are new and strange. What is the occurrence? The plan was going smoothly in your last report.
It was going smoothly, but a unique opportunity of strategic value presented itself and I captured it. I think it's well worth the costs. The Marleybonians foolishly attempted to overcommit troops, and in that effort, there were also, we'll say, unique individuals aboard as well. I took the opportunity to dismantle Beachhead and score significant casualties against our enemy and these unique individuals.
All right, yeah, roll a persuasion check.
I will use lucky. That's better. 21.
Okay. The Armada soldier will respond. Affirmative, this action is taken. We will continue our protocols in this area. We are assigned to your unit, and he will begin to extract a code cylinder and say, as per protocol, use this with your decoder. You are the higher ranking officer.
I nod and take the cylinder. Affirmative.
Okay, and he's going to stand there and wait.
Is he looking for orders or?
Do an insight check.
Let's see. I don't have anything. Yeah, 5.
Yeah. Well, you can use second wind.
Yeah. I guess I will do that since I get it back on a short rest.
You get it back if you fail.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. But I took the final level now too. Alright, so 16 total.
I'm like, wait, where's the +8? Huh? Wait, do you add your fighter level to the
sorry.
second wind as well?
No, sorry. That's for healing. Sorry, you're right. It's just 3, so that's
8.
8.
All right. Well,
I can make it a 12 if you want, if you think that'll be enough.
I'm not sure how crucial this check is, to be honest.
Okay, then it's an 8.
All right, yeah, you get your your second wind back, and you're not sure what he's looking for.
Okay. Maintain current directive. Keep an eye on the Marleybonians. If they attempt to pursue, return back to headquarters and report immediately.
He will nod and say, and say, understood. Requesting code cylinder.
GM, real quick. You said that you need special machines to make the code cylinders.
You would need like smithing tools and like an anvil and things of that nature in order to do that.
Okay, I assume Beachhead had all that set up before it went down, right?
Yeah.
Can I do a history check? I imagine there are emergency protocols that can be called on that don't require a cylinder for extreme circumstances. Could I do a history check to see if that's correct, or if there are any like emergency protocols that allow me to give orders outside of a command or a cylinder?
Yeah, you're gonna be thinking pretty far back for this one, so it might be a little difficult.
Okay. It's gonna be plus 11. 25.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to recall and relay these protocols, and the Clockwork will say, understood. The directive has been received, requesting old code cylinder for purposes of security.
Like he wants my old code cylinder, or
No,
which...
he wants his, the one that you have in your hand that you took from him.
Oh yeah, I'll hand it back.
Right, and he will leave the ship. And it begins to sail away.
Good job on that.
Thank you. That was a bit of good practice for what's to come.
Well, we should probably get a move on.
Affirmative. I mean, agreed.
All right, and you enter into the spiral. And ahead of you is Valencia, and the picture that is in front of you of this world is, well, I guess, what do you think it would be for those of you who haven't been to Valencia before, based on the things that you've been told about it?
I'm probably picturing aesthetics similar to Beachhead. Sort of a highly mechanized, sort of rigid factory type thing.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
industrial.
And explaining you using Digimon terminology, but no one knows that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and what would you see, Quinn?
To Quinn, it kind of flickers between two different scenes, kind of reflective of an ongoing war that sometimes plays in his mind of how to feel about it. On one side, he sees Lord of Lorenzo's study, which is clean, well kept, to a surprise to others, not very industrial. It's more of a classic Renaissance style. But warring with that softer image is an image of a grand ballroom that the nobility used to have balls in, and in that ballroom the floors are covered in blood, with unicorns kind of scattered around and Deacon standing over them.
Yeah, so perhaps Quinn might be a little ragged, having to see a bit of that again. But other than that, this is the first day in the spiral. I will say we'll also take longer to reach Valencia because you don't have like the booster sales in the spiral. But yeah, that is everything. That is the end of the first day in the spiral. Consume and roll.
I believe it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Oh boy.
And this might be the time to do the talk with Bishop, because the other side, the other gate will not be as easy to get by, I don't think.
60.
All right, yeah.
I like to picture that this time the spiral music is being played in minor key.
If I could do that, I would.
So I probably gotta redo that whole seeming thing again when we're about to enter, right?
When we're about to enter, yes, probably.
Okay.
You're still a few days away from that.
Okay, but just for the sake, I should keep the means of casting a level 5 spell on hand.
Yeah.
Because
I
we're not
mean-
going to be able to rest.
Yeah, seeming doesn't wear off though, so we'll still be disguised the whole trip over, right?
No, only 8 hours.
Oh, seeming's only 8 hours? Okay. Okay. Just so you know, I also have Disguise Self, so if it comes down to it and you're like out of spells, I can fall back onto that.
But we need the whole party, so...
Right. Yeah, just if things go bad, just so you know.
We can hide in the smuggler's hold and...
Yeah.
You can just say that your entire crew was destroyed, heading through the spiral by some space kitties.
I believe it's hostiles.
Right, hostiles.
But I will keep the means of casting a seeming on hand. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, so... Let's send a message so that we have a better chance of entering, I think. Is what Daelen's gonna say to Quin.
Very well. We have to do it at some point, so let's get it over with. Alright, I'll take the I'll take the modified or the sending stone, and I'll open up with Bishop. Do you copy?
Before you begin, I'll tell you this much. It's not like a walkie-talkie. You get 25 words to transmit per day.
Oh, okay. Cool. Do we know? Does this go directly to Bishop, or do we know that?
You don't.
In
Okay.
theory, it should, though, right? Is that kind of the ground level expectation, is that it theoretically should?
Yeah, you know that Bishop made these devices.
Okay. But we don't know who's actually receiving it.
Yeah, so essentially you don't know if he pawned off the other side of this to someone else or if it's on his person.
Okay.
Interesting.
How many words do I get?
25.
Okay. Oof. Alright. Alright, let me think of it. Alright, I'll say priority coded message to Bishop. I Rook. Ordering new directive to pull from Beachhead. Have destroyed many hostiles.
Do you have room to put returning to Valencia?
He would.
I think I have one word left.
You have a few more than that if my fingers are correct.
Okay. Returning immediately to Valencia.
Okay, yeah, you would have enough for all that. And the response you get is affirmative. Your return is of great importance. We'll need you. And stone can't work for the rest of the day.
All right.
And if that's all you want to do this day, consume and roll.
I believe it's me this time. 39.
Alright, yeah, 39 is good. Consume and roll.
$37.
Alright. Yep, consume and roll.
$76.
Alright, 76. Consume and roll.
Ah, 15.
Alright. Consume and roll.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we're playing this. Oh, that's me.
Yep.
32.
All right. And with all that, you make your way to Valencia. And immediately there is a blockade, and it's almost like interesting. This Armada outpost here is a little bit like a drive-through where like at an airport we have to come up, stick your card in, and leave. You're seeing other ships coming this towards it that have exited from Mushu.
So I should probably get the disguises up before we enter.
Yeah, I assumed that you would do it before you crossed into the world.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use 5 sorcery points to put up Seeming, and then I'll also put up Telepathic Bond right before we go in.
Do I have anything good?
Maybe slapping on a guidance only lasts a minute, so
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll slap it on Quin for bonus to deception, I suppose.
I can give him enhanced ability on charisma checks if you think that's worth it right now.
probably is.
Yeah, I just don't know like if we're just scanning a card and going, or if we have to talk to people. I'll do it, sure. I'll spend a second level spell slot.
All right.
So I have a enhance ability, and what was your thing, Doc?
Yeah.
Deception.
Guidance for deception.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long does guidance last? A minute?
A minute.
Okay.
Yeah. So I imagine like the shorter half of this stuff is taking place when you're coming up to the outpost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say that you have your full movement, but you'll have to be in the same hex as the outpost to check in there. That's
So
alright with you.
Holy crap, those storm gates are close to each other.
Yeah, something about them not spawning close to each other was mentioned, but
Yeah. Well, in Avalon, it said it wasn't normal.
They have Stormgate moving technology.
And you dock with the outpost, and the guards there say, present code cylinders and directive.
I'll present Rourke's code cylinder and say, code cylinder, though alterations have been made for the benefit of the mission at hand. I'm granted direct permission from Kane to make such changes.
Alright, and because, yeah, give me a deception check.
I assume guidance is probably worn off by now.
I'll give it to you.
$23.
All right. So you're probably using the emergency protocols. Pass the word again. In the troop says affirmative. Rook registered to have checked in towards from Marleybone. What is your bearing, Commander?
I'm going to meet with Kane to debrief on the situation at Marleybone.
Where?
DM, can I do a history check to remember what the name of the central fortress is called again?
Oh yeah, you know it's called the Sky Forge.
The Sky Forge.
Yeah, everything on the map are things that Quin already knows the location of and names of.
Skyforge's name is not visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because, like, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't put it on there.
Just like lift it up a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
well, there's some stuff going on there. But yeah, so the trooper says, confirmed. Make your way to the Sky Forge.
Affirmative. Make sure to send word to Kane as well, my arrival.
And he says confirmed.
And also, is Bishop still stationed here?
And he will say Bishop has not come to this outpost and checked in here. My directives and information are therefore inaccurate.
Affirmative. Quinn will keep going.
All right, and just to help give you guys a little bit of bearing, so Florenza is the capital city of Valencia, and for the most part, it's just the show face for the Armada. That's where you'll see the like unicorns, raccoons, and crabs and gerbils, that kind of thing. And the King and Queen of Valencia are there, and it's more or less just like a pompous diplomatic area to make the Armada seem nice. And make the unicorns think they're in control. And then there is Florenza, or not Florenza, my bad, Sevilla, which is the hub of Valencian agriculture and their scholarly pursuits. As opposed to the courts and politics and artistry that Florenza is known for, and Lorenzo's estate was located by Sevilla. And then obviously the Sky Forge is the capital of the Armada and is a massive structure that has been constructed over time. So unlike Beachhead, which seemingly was brought through very quickly or dragged very slowly through the spiral, the Sky Forge was a small structure that eventually became an incredibly titanic one.
Is it like visible from here?
No, there's a mountain range over here that blocks your view of it.
I see.
So, if you're a wonderful person coming from Mushu, you have no idea it's even there.
They just see nice, fancy Florenza capital.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what the Armada wants it to look like too.
Yeah, Skyforge is basically like the Death Star.
All right, let's head towards that moon.
That's no moon.
Yeah. And then there are two places that you know of, but you don't know where they are because you are either not stationed there or never found it, which is obviously there's Captain Steed and the Resistance. You don't know where they are, you just know that they're out there somewhere. And then there's the city of Gronkia, which was more or less abandoned and salvaged since you were created. They kind of removed all the populace from the town as one of your first missions. Or I should say, when you were doing your first mission, that was not your first mission. And yeah. So 1, 2, 3, you have one more movement you can take.
Gonna head in that direction unless anyone has.
Yeah, let's see like the edge of the mountains there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this teal area here are like wetlands.
Okay. Is there docking in Florence? Yeah, there's docking in Florence, so we might want to go there actually, because we can't bottle the ship.
Okay.
And it might be suspicious to just park your boat on the side of the marsh.
Alright, so that's gonna alter our course to like right there.
And another problem here too is sieving only lasts 8 hours, and I can only do it 2 more times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so we can sail over the marshland, right?
You can't sail over the marshland.
Okay. So we have a bit of a problem. We're gonna have to use our own boat if we dock this in Florenza.
Would I remember if there's another way around? Like this way?
Give me a history check.
I love being a wizard right now.
He's like, expertise has never felt better placed.
25.
Alright, so this was started after you were deployed to Skull Island, but you know that there was construction of a canal over this way.
Okay. Would that be like this tile here is where it would link up, or?
No. You'll be able to spot it when you see it.
Okay.
But it is you'd have to go around this way to start finding it.
Okay. But before they made that, were these two, I guess, waters just separated previously?
No, there was a gulf that Skyforged was located in. And that gulf had more or less Sevilla was the route you had to take to get through there. Like you had to pass by Sevilla to get in towards it.
Oh, gotcha. So it's almost like a lake that it sits in the middle of.
Yeah, kind of.
Alright, so we're gonna go around this way.
I think so.
All right. Your first movement was here, so you guys are there.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun, the form movement. And if that's how the first day goes, consume and roll.
That's me.
I think it's me actually.
Oh, is it you?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
16.
All right. 16. How do we... Alright, yeah, take your movement.
Actually, each day we might as well use the spyglass to try to get a little bit more info,
Alright.
right?
Yeah, just tell me the hex you want to begin to peer from.
Right here.
Right
Yeah.
at the end of the days.
We've
Yeah.
got one more movement, technically.
Yeah, so you want to do it now?
Yeah.
Alright.
Nat 20.
A natural
so that's like
20.
31.
Alright, so as per the usual, it destroys your vision first.
That's
Lift. Okay. And you are able to see part of the canal over here.
Alright. Now it's Zapper's turn.
Consume and roll.
25.
25. All right, so yeah, this canal completely like separates out the land and sea, so you can cross through it without having to disembark. It's a little tight, but it can fit like, well, I guess for you guys it won't be as tight, but a galleon would be
2 through 4.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like they'd be very close together if they both had to go both ways at the same time, I guess. All right. And when you come up on this area here, this is when Quin, you notice the gulf has been artificially carved out here.
Like
And
they're digging it out, making it even bigger.
yeah, it looks like that they're just destroying. Like it's not that they need this space, it's that they're just mining up all of the raw resources in the ground by essentially just removing all terrain from the sky, from the Gulf, and expanding outwards. These are like sheer cliffs in a perfect circle around the Sky Forge. And for you, that's happened since you were stationed with the Armada.
Just looks like Minecraft chunk errors. Chunk order errors.
Yeah, and there's like obviously excavation equipment attached to like ships and things that are moving around this area that are carving it out.
I mean, that's just regular ground. Is there even anything to mine from that?
Well, trace elements, but not anything worth doing. Unless you know, specifically want to remove the ground.
Yeah. Give me a nature check, one of you.
Okay. 24. 25.
25. You're able to deduce that this area of Valencia, while not everything would be useful, there are small pieces of adamantine inside of the terrain here. You know that adamantine originates from Valencia, and you're beginning to figure out how these titanic structures that they've made might have come to be now.
I think they're mining the adamantine, guys.
Little by little, yeah.
So it's like it's almost like to them it does, like, losing the landmass does not matter if there's any adamantine to be gained from it.
Yeah.
And yeah, do you still have movement for the day?
Nope, we're out.
Okay, so you're hanging out with the diggers here, while the imposing sky forge is in front of you. Consume and roll.
Okay, so what's our plan today? We're going to the Sky Forge, but like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, to start, we need to find out more about the Armada's plans to get to El Dorado.
Don't know if this is the best approach.
Well, we don't really have any other option. We already reported to Bishop that we were coming here. Kane or someone.
True.
Yes, I primarily did that because such a large deviation in military tactics is something that would have to be directly reported to Kane. If
Exactly.
Rook failed to do that, it would definitely arouse suspicion.
Well, then we need to come up with something to buy us some time, I guess.
Yes. Kane could provide us with some powerful information, though. Though it's risky going that deep into the Armada stronghold.
I mean, this is the best opportunity we have, unless we have a chance to find the resistance force that you know about, but
We could claim that the group that attacked Beachhead, us, potentially had ties to the resistance, but I think that's a bit of a stretch.
you could flip it on its head and say that you're gonna try and find the resistance force to wipe them out and see if they have any information on it.
Would Kane would Rook be of a high enough rank to be able to take initiative like that?
Absolutely, but something like that is more Deacon's specialty.
We want to go to El Dorado, correct? Then I think we somehow gotta convince him that we are going there.
Yeah, but keep in mind we shouldn't have any reason to know anything about that plan at all, should we? Would they have told Rook?
Rook is important enough where there's a decent chance he may have been told about it, though I think even if he wasn't directly told about it, he has enough resources where I think it's plausible to say he found out about it and was upset at being cut out from such an opportunity.
Or maybe he learned. Maybe he killed some of us and learned the other half are going there.
That's honestly a pretty good idea.
But what that will kind of invite too is they are probably going to go there post haste.
To El Dorado, you mean?
Yeah.
Catbeard will kind of say, "Isn't that what your friend told us? Was that they were going to El Dorado soon?"
Yes.
Yeah, so
But-
theoretically, based off of Meg's information, like, how close are we to the deadline when they were supposedly going?
Like you guys would be like more or less it would be around now. Like they would be like heading out within this week if she was correct.
Okay, so maybe what you do here is say they were going, say we were going, and you want to go deal with us as Rook.
That will work. I think also, from what I understand of Rook, he would also want the glory of conquering in a new world or a new weapon as well. But I agree. The idea is that Rook wants in on this investigation to El Dorado.
Then hopefully we'll get the directions on where to go.
And then we sabotage it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
To the best of our abilities, yes.
Getting to El Dorado will be a massive advantage for us as well, if we can pull this off.
I'm just afraid that it's gonna be... If they're gonna mobilize a very large fleet, I don't think we can sabotage that. I think we need to strike before that happens.
And if that's the case, the only real way to do that is to take out the guy that was having the dream.
And likely Kane as well, I imagine.
More than likely, we'll probably have to take out the entire command structure.
I don't think we're equipped to do that right now.
Well, when do you suggest we do it? We don't have a lot of time.
We've got to make a dramatic move here. Because we're not going to get another opportunity like this.
This is the critical moment.
So if we can get an audience with Kane, we try to kill him, I guess?
Or his, and he makes air quotes, dad? Maybe both?
That is an option on the table. The other one is we talk to Kane, gather what information we can, see if we can get authorized to hunt down Captain Steele and the rebels. Or Steve, sorry. And
Would
then,
that stall the operation, though?
Well, we can have Rook act as betrayed and maybe have them delay the departure until he finds and proves
Okay,
that
okay.
he can. Yeah.
What about this? What if somehow Rook has gotten information that the rebels are preparing something to... And
Ooh,
no,
that's
that would be... That would kind of... That would prepare them more. Okay, I'm
But
just
it would
gonna...
also delay them.
That's true. But if we told them that the rebels were preparing something, then yeah, maybe that would delay them. But then they would be more prepared, which means we would have to find the rebels and prepare them even more.
The rebels could help sabotage the fleet potentially.
Are there enough of them to do that?
I honestly have no idea.
Because if we're only dealing with something the size of Bonnie or Kieran's crew, then that's not a lot.
There are probably a few more than that.
A very risky thing we could do, I feel it's what we do best, is we can go under there in disguise and just cause as much chaos in there at the seat of our pants.
We could, but it'll play our hand.
Yeah.
The chances of us getting cornered are also extremely high. That's likely a one-way mission.
Okay, so... Wait a second. So, how does this big ol' thing that we're looking at work, Quinn? Is it like a whole, like, industrial thing where you can go in and, like, break the whole thing if you find the right place? Like, I don't know, like, if you were to guide a boat through a small passage and shoot just the right place with a cannonball, the whole thing explodes.
A 1 in 1,000 shot, but I think it might work.
Well, if we could sabotage its windstones, that would do it. Sure.
DMs, how much would I know about Skyforge? Because I imagine it has like dozens and dozens of windstones, but I don't want to say anything without.
Yeah, you would know that this thing is huge, and unlike Beachhead, this thing was not meant to take itself down, which would also mean it has a one cannonball position. Like the outposts and things like that have, and Beachhead had those parameters set in, but Skyforge would not.
All this like technology is going over Faris's head, and all he's thinking about is like capturing the beholder and maybe like bringing it here.
So there's not really a feasible way to sabotage Skyforge itself, then.
Well, what if we could...
It's kind of like a giant city, so like you might be able to damage a part of a city, but the whole city would still be functioning and trying to put out the fire, so to speak.
Well, that would still cause a big backup in things.
So, based on my knowledge of how windstones work, it probably has to have them, like, interspersed at certain intervals. Like, each windstone keeps a certain part of the fortress afloat, right? So, like, if you were to if you were to, like, focus on windstones in one particular area, could it cause it to, like, capsize almost?
It would have to be like on several different points, because like they kind of like equal each other out, right? Like it would have to like be probably like a dozen of them to at least even
This
tilt it.
is massive, so
Yeah, in order to destabilize it, you would have to knock out at least one in every. You'd have to knock out at least one in each hex, and keep in mind, like hexes are 4 hours of like travel time. So
what if we took out all of them in one hex?
Taking all of them out in one hex would not be enough to destabilize it.
Okay.
Like, because this one and this one would kind of like
I see.
disperse the effect.
I see.
Every well-built city has a single point of failure somewhere, guys. So, okay, stupid question. Assuming Max was traveling alone, how far could he travel? Since he's so fast.
Gosh.
Asking the real question.
Depends on the pace you're thinking of here.
The pace, and not to mention, I feel like if you were going full tilt, full sprint, you would probably potentially exhaust yourself, but you could maybe get, like, on your own 7 tiles.
Okay.
I know
Is
Max
that
is really
normal
freaking...
or normal or fast?
Like, 7 would be fast.
Okay, what would normal be? 6, 5?
Be like 5. Essentially, you're adding 2 onto what it would normally give you.
Alright, well, if Max goes normal, he could probably.
But keep
run
in
around.
mind, this is assuming you're key hauling it plus the pace. So you would be exhausted by the end of it if you're doing normal with key hauling. But you'd be less likely to be spotted. But I will also point out that depending on how your disguise and other things are, it might raise or lower your chances of good or bad rolls happening inside of that. Inside of
course.
here.
And of course, you will be alone.
Yeah, well, with me being alone, the whole shtick there is that my stealth is minimum 23. 24. I don't know. I'm just saying to the rest of the party, if you guys can think of a particular piece of infrastructure that if it were sabotaged, it would cause enough ruckus to slow things down, Max could probably get in there and ruin it.
I'm wondering if we may want to call it here so people can do planning in this regards, because this sounds like this might end up being like a massive plan.
Massive plan.
So I just want to kind of get a vibe really quick.
What do
I
you guys
think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if we don't go with the Max plan, we could be going on for hours.
Yeah. All right.
Of course,
well,
I'll leave that up to people unless like you do want to keep planning on air or not. It's just well, I don't know.
I think it'd probably be good to call it here because yeah, we'll probably need some time to plan, and then I think that's a good stopping point anyways, so we don't get too deep into what I'm sure is going to be a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds
All right.
good. Then we will catch you all next week, and we'll find out what the grand scheme the players come up with will be.
Will they infiltrate Skyforge? They go guns blazing, or who knows? We'll see.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.